Hello everyone. So today we will study plane Poiseuille flow. What is plane Poiseuille flow? Plane Poiseuille flow is the flow when a fluid is forced to flow between two infinite parallel stationary flat plates under constant pressure gradient and zero gravity. In last class we have already studied plane Couette flow and we know how we get the fully developed flow. So, we will have the assumptions of fully developed flow in case of plane Poiseuille flow and we will derive the velocity distribution, shear stress distribution and volume flow rate per unit width. So, let us consider two parallel plates. These are stationary, that means velocity is 0 and the distance between two parallel plates is 2h. We have taken the axis in the mid of this plane. So, this is your central line and x is measured in the axial direction and y is measured from the central line. We have taken the coordinate here for convenient, because we know that the velocity distribution is symmetric about the central line. So, what are the assumptions we are taking? We are assuming laminar steady incompressible flow with constant fluid properties, fully developed flow, that means del u by del x is 0, pressure gradient is constant, gravitational acceleration in x direction is 0 and we are taking width of the plates along the z direction to be infinitely large as compared to its height to h, so that there are no gradients of flow variables along the z direction. That means, in z direction w velocity is 0 and del of del z of any flow variables is 0. So, obviously as z direction is infinite, so end effects are neglected and we know from the fully developed flow condition that from continuity equation putting del u by del x is 0 and w as 0, you can show that v is equal to 0 everywhere. So, with these assumptions you can write the Navier-Stokes equations, especially the x momentum equation as d2 u by dy square is equal to 1 by mu del p by del x. So, we can write the governing differential equation invoking the above assumptions as d2 u by dy square is equal to 1 by mu del p by del x. Okay. So, we know that u is function of y only, right. So, it is one dimensional flow because we are considering fully developed flow and u is function of y only. So, if you integrate twice, you will be able to find the velocity distribution with proper boundary conditions. What are the boundary conditions? So, you can see from here that at y is equal to h as well as at minus h you have velocity 0. Okay. So, let us find the velocity distribution from starting from this ordinary differential equation. So, our ordinary differential equation is d2 u by dy square is equal to 1 by mu del p by del x, right. So, if you integrate this equation, you will get du by dy is equal to 1 by mu del p by del x y plus integration constant C1. Again if you integrate, then you will get u as 1 by, so it will be y square by 2. So, I will write 1 by twice mu del p by del x y square plus C1 y plus C2. Okay. So, now let us invoke those two boundary conditions, because there are two unknowns. So, we need two boundary conditions and find the integration constants C1 and C2. So, boundary conditions are at y is equal to h. Okay. So, you can see this will be 0, right, velocity is 0, u is 0. So, you will get 0 is equal to 1 by twice mu del p by del x h square plus C 1 h plus C 2. Okay. And if you invoke the other boundary condition at the rate of y is equal to minus h, u is equal to 0. So, you will get 0 is equal to 1 by twice mu del p by del x h square. So, it will be minus C 1 h plus C 2. Okay. So, if this equation is 1 and if this equation is 2. So, if you subtract these two equations, okay. So, if you subtract equation 2 from 1, then you will get, so subtracting equation 2 from equation 1. Okay. So, if you subtract, you can see, so these two terms are same. So, it will get cancelled, C 2 will get cancelled, you will get twice C 1 h is equal to 0. That means, C 1 is equal to 0. If you add these two equations, so you will get, adding equation 1 and equation 2, what you will get? So, you can see it, you will get 2 into 1 by twice mu del p by del x h square plus C 2 is equal to 0. That means, your integration constant C 2 is equal to minus 1 by twice mu del p by del x h square. Okay. Now, let us put these two integration constants C 1 C 2 in this equation and get the velocity profile. So, your velocity distribution okay, what is your velocity distribution after invoking the constants? So, u will be your 1 by twice mu del p by del x y square minus 1 by twice mu del p by del x h square. Okay. So, if you rearrange, you will get h square by twice mu, I will write minus del p by del x and you will get 1 minus y square by h square. Okay. So, this is your velocity distribution. Okay. So, you know that in this particular case del p by del x is constant and we have favorable pressure gradient. So, if it is favorable pressure gradient, then your flow will occur in the positive x direction. So, in this case minus del p by del x is a positive quantity, right. So, in this case minus del p by del x is a positive quantity, okay, for favorable pressure gradient. Okay. So, now we can see this velocity distribution is parabolic. Okay. Now, if you want to calculate the mean velocity, so first we will calculate the volumetric flow rate. So, first let us calculate the volumetric flow rate per unit width. So, if we consider in the z direction the width is W, then we will calculate the volumetric flow rate Q by W. Okay. And how we will calculate? So, obviously at any section you need to calculate the flow area, okay, and this flow area into the mean velocity will give you the volumetric flow rate. So, in this case if you see that at a distance y we have taken one infinitesimal distance dy, okay, and in z direction if the width is W, then you will get the flow area as W into dy. Okay. So, in this particular case now volumetric flow rate Q, okay, if you want to calculate, so it will be area integral u into dA. Okay. So, in this case you can see this is, you can write dA because infinitesimal distance dy you have calculated, and now if you integrate from minus h to h, then you will get minus h to h u, what is dA, now it is w into dy. Okay. So, this is your flow area. So, volumetric flow rate per unit width if you want to calculate, then you can write q by w is equal to minus h to h. Now, you will get, now you put the velocity distribution expression here. So, 1 by twice mu minus del p by del x h square minus y square into dy. Okay. So, we are integrating from minus h to h. So, you will get 1 by twice mu minus del p by del x are constant. So, you can take out of the integral, and if you integrate here it is h square into y, and next term you will get y cube by 3. Okay. And you are integrating from minus h to h. So, if you put the limits, then you will get 1 by twice mu minus del p by del x. Now, this you will get, if you put the upper limit, then you will get h cube minus h cube by 3, and if you put minus h, then you will get again minus, so minus minus plus h cube minus h cube by 3. Okay. So, finally, you will get 1 by twice mu minus del p by del x. Okay. So, here you will get 4 h cube by 3. Okay. So, you will get finally 2 by 3 mu minus del p by del x. So, this is the volumetric flow rate. So, you can see that volumetric flow rate is proportional to the pressure gradient and inversely proportional to the viscosity. Okay. In most application, the mean velocity is provided in the channel, and we are interested to find what is the pressure gradient. So, if we want to calculate the mean velocity, we will be able to calculate from the expression of this volumetric flow rate. So, what is mean velocity? The mean or average velocity is physically an equivalent uniform velocity field that could have given rise to the same volume flow rate as that induced by the variable velocity field under consideration. So, you know that we have already calculated the volume flow rate, and this will be your mean velocity into the flow area. Okay. So, in this case you can see what is the flow area. So, flow area is your twice h into w. Okay. So, it will be um twice h into w. So, from here you can calculate the mean velocity as q by w and 1 by twice h. Okay. So, q by w already we have found. Okay. So, it is 2 by 3 mu minus del p by del x, okay, into h cube, and we have 1 by twice h. So, if you rearrange it, you will get h square by 3 mu, because these two will get cancelled, and you will get minus del p by del x. So, from here you will be able to express this pressure gradient minus del p by del x in terms of the mean velocity if it is provided. So, minus del p by del x, okay. It should be positive quantity, right, minus del p by del x, because then only you will get the velocity in the x direction. Okay. So, you will get 3 mu by h square. Okay. So, you can see in the right hand side mu is constant and positive quantity, is also positive, it is a mean velocity, h is also dimension. So, obviously right side term is positive, hence minus del p by del x is positive. Now, let us calculate the maximum velocity. Where we will get the maximum velocity? You can see it is a parabolic profile. Obviously, due to symmetry at the center line you will get the maximum velocity. You can also see that du by dy will be 0. If you put 0, then obviously at y is equal to 0 you will get the maximum velocity. So, maximum velocity you will get at y is equal to 0, okay, at y is equal to 0, and you will get u max. So, what is the velocity profile? Your velocity profile u y is equal to h square by twice mu minus del p by del x into 1 minus y square by h square. Okay. So, if you put y is equal to 0, then you will get u max. Okay. So, you will get at y is equal to 0, okay, at the central line. So, if you put y is equal to 0, you will get h square by twice mu minus del p by del x. Okay. And u mean already we have calculated, this is your h square by 3 mu minus del p by del x. Okay. So, first let us calculate u max by u mean. So, what is the ratio? Maximum velocity to the mean velocity. So, from this expression you can see, so you will get 3 by 2. That means your maximum velocity will be 1.5 times the mean velocity. So, if you consider plane Poiseuille flow, that means flow between two infinite parallel plates, then you will get maximum velocity as 1.5 times the mean velocity. So, let us calculate the ratio u y by mean velocity u m. So, you can see this is your mean velocity and this is your velocity expression. So, if you divide, then you will get 3 by 2 1 minus y square by h square. So, that means your velocity profile you can write in terms of the mean velocity as 3 by 2 u m 1 minus y square by h square. And from here you can see that your u max is 3 by 2 u mean. That means also you can write the velocity distribution in terms of the maximum velocity as u max into 1 minus y square by h square. Okay. So, now we want to find what is the shear stress distribution inside the flow domain as well as what is the wall shear stress. Okay. So, you know in case of fully developed flow your shear stress tau yx will be just mu du by dy. So, shear stress tau yx you will get only mu du by dy. Okay. So, you know the velocity distribution. So, if you put the values you will get actually this as del p by del x into y, and we have already found that your minus del p by del x in terms of the mean velocity as 3 mu u m divided by h square. Okay. So, if you put this expression here you are going to get minus 3 mu u m divided by h square into y. Okay. So, you can see from this expression that tau yx will vary inside the flow domain linearly, okay, from y is equal to minus h to h, because it is a function of y. Okay. So, linear function of y. So, if you want to find the wall shear stress tau w, okay, so obviously this will be minus tau yx at y is equal to h. So, if it is at the upper wall. Okay. So, in the upper wall you will get minus tau yx, y is equal to h, then you will get this as 3 mu u m h square into h this is for upper plate. Okay. So, 3 mu m by h square into h. So, you will get 3 mu u m by h. Okay. So, you can see the how your velocity distribution will look like, as we have seen that u I is your parabolic, that means we have got u y as 3 by 2 u m 1 minus y square by h square. So, obviously at y is equal to 0 it will be 0, y is equal to sorry at y is equal to minus h, you can see this will be 0, y is equal to plus h, velocity will be 0, and we have seen that at y is equal to 0 you will get maximum velocity, okay, and it is a parabolic in nature. And shear stress distribution linearly it varies. So, now we will find the skin friction coefficient. So, the skin friction coefficient is the dimensionless representation of wall shear stress. Okay. So, you can see that we can define skin friction coefficient CF as your tau w divided by half rho um square. Okay. So, the shear stress, okay, at wall we have already found. So, it is 3 mu u m by h, and this is your 2 by rho u m square. So, if you rearrange it, what you will get? So, you will get 12 mu divided by rho u m into 2h. Okay. So, we are writing 2h here. So, 3 into 2 6 and another 2. So, it will be 6 into 2 12. So, now we will define Reynolds number, okay, based on 2h, Reynolds number. So, you know Reynolds number is the ratio of inertia force to the viscous force. Okay. So, Reynolds number based on twice h we are writing as rho into mean velocity into twice h divided by mu. So, you can see you can write Cf, which is your skin friction coefficient, as 12 by Re based on 2h. Okay. Similarly, we can represent the dimensionless pressure gradient, okay, in terms of friction factor. Okay. So, we can define friction factor as minus del p by del x, that is your pressure gradient, into the distance between two plates divided by half into rho um square. Okay. So, this is a dimensionless quantity, and we know that minus del p by del x is equal to 3 mu u m by h square. So, this is the expression in terms of mean velocity. So, if you put that value here, so you will get 3 mu u m by h square twice h into 2 by rho u m square. Okay. So, if you rearrange it, you will get 24 mu divided by rho u m into twice h. Again we are writing in terms of Reynolds number. So, you can write twice 4 by Re based on mean velocity and the distance between two plates 2h. So, this is your Reynolds number, rho u m twice h by mu. Okay. And from these two expressions, skin friction coefficient and friction factor, you can see that friction factor F is 2 into Cf, okay, because we have shown Cf is equal to 12 by Re, okay, and F is 24 by Re. So, hence you can write F is equal to 2 into Cf. Okay. Now, we will consider another case, that is your plane positive flow between inclined plates. Okay. So, let us consider two parallel plates, okay, which are inclined with the horizontal with angle theta. Okay. In this case, the plates separated by a distance 2h, and along the center line we are measuring x and y is measured from the center line. So, these are stationary plates. Now, you can see in this particular case your gravity g is acting in this direction. It will have two components, one is in this direction, another is in this direction. So, obviously, you can see this is your theta. So, you will get g cos theta in this direction and g sin theta in axial direction x. Okay. So, when we will write the governing equation, you can see obviously in the x direction x momentum equation, the gravity factor will be g sin theta, and in y component of the momentum equation your gravity will be g cos theta. That means, g x is your g sin theta, okay, and this is in the positive x direction. However, g y will be minus g cos theta. Okay. So, when we are considering Poiseuille flow between two inclined parallel plates, then obviously as you have considered x as the axial direction. So, our governing equation will remain same, only we are not neglecting the gravitational acceleration. Okay. So, we can write the governing equation, okay, d2u by dy square is equal to 1 by mu del p by del x minus rho gx. Okay. From the x momentum equation we will get this, and gx is nothing but g sin theta. So, you will get d2u by dy square is equal to 1 by mu del p by del x minus rho g sin theta. Okay. So, obviously, you can see if you integrate twice, then you will get the velocity distribution. So, the velocity distribution u, which is function of y, you can write it as 1 by twice mu del p by del x minus rho g sin theta y square plus c1 y plus c2. Okay. So, you can see the boundary conditions. So, y is equal to minus h, u is equal to 0, and y is equal to plus h, u is equal to 0. Okay. So, boundary conditions are at y is equal to h and minus h, your u is equal to 0. Okay. So, if u is equal to 0, you put it here and you will get the constants C1 and C2. So, C1 you will get as 0 as earlier, and C2 you will get minus 1 by twice mu del p by del x minus rho g sin theta. So, if you put this C2 and C1 values here, you will get the velocity distribution u y is equal to h square by twice mu minus del p by del x plus rho g sin theta into 1 minus y square by h square. Okay. So, you can see here also you will get the velocity distribution as parabolic. Okay. And now, if you want to calculate the volumetric flow rate and the shear stress, it will be similar to the plane Poiseuille flow, except your minus del p by del x will be replaced with minus del p by del x plus rho g sin theta, right. So, your volumetric flow rate will be q by w per unit width we are writing, okay, per unit width So, it will be twice h cube by 3 mu minus del p by del x, okay, plus rho g sin theta. Okay. Here you can see that rho g sin theta is constant, okay, because rho is density and it is constant for incompressible flow, g is the gravitational acceleration. So, all these quantities are constant. So, minus del p by del x is also constant. So, these two terms actually are constant. So, you will get the similar expression, okay. In place of minus del p by del x, for in case of plane Poiseuille flow we are substituting here. So, in this particular case we are writing minus del p by del x plus rho g sin theta in place of minus del p by del x for this plane Poiseuille flow. Okay. So, similarly you can find the mean velocity u m as h square by 3 mu minus del p by del x plus rho g sin theta, okay. And the shear stress distribution you will get tau y x is equal to del p by del x minus rho g sin theta into y, okay. And you can see here also you will get the linear profile, and if you put the expression of minus del p by del x plus rho g sin theta in terms of mean velocity, then you can write tau y x as minus 3 mu u m divided by h square into y, and this is the same expression as in case of plane Poiseuille flow. So, you can write the velocity distribution u y as 3 by 2 into u m 1 minus y square by h square, okay. And in this case also you will get u maximum is equal to 1.5 times your mean velocity, okay. So, obviously u y also you can write as u max into 1 minus y square by h square. So, if you put the gravitational acceleration in the y momentum equation, then obviously you know that v is equal to 0. Y momentum equation will boils down to del p by del y is equal to minus rho g cos theta. So, what will be the pressure distribution inside the domain, okay. So, obviously del p by del y you can see this is your constant and this is nothing but the hydrostatic pressure, right. We know that p is function of x, y and z. So, we can write dp is equal to del p by del x dx plus del p by del y dy plus del p by del z into dz. So, you can see that del of del z of any flow variable is 0 because we consider z direction is infinite. So, this will be 0, okay. And del p by del y is constant, this is the expression, and del p by del x also is constant for Poiseuille flow. So, you can see that dp will be your del p by del x which is your constant dx minus rho g cos theta dy, okay. We have put the value of del p by del y and this term is constant. So, if you integrate it you will get the pressure distribution as function of x y as del p by del x x minus rho g cos theta into y plus some integration constant. So, this integration constant can be found just putting a value of pressure at any location, okay. You can find the constant C. So, in today's class we considered plane Poiseuille flow, which is the flow between two parallel plates and with constant pressure gradient. So, in that case we have found the velocity distribution and we have shown that it is parabolic. Then we calculated the volumetric flow rate and we have seen that Q is proportional to the pressure gradient and inversely proportional to the viscosity of the fluid. Then we calculated the mean velocity, and we have shown that your pressure gradient minus del p by del x, okay, is a positive quantity, and we have represented in terms of mean velocity. Then we have shown that your maximum velocity will occur at center line, and this is equal to 1.5 times the mean velocity. Then we calculated the shear stress, and shear stress distribution is linear inside the flow domain, and from there we have expressed the dimensionless shear stress, which is your skin friction coefficient, and we have also expressed the pressure gradient in terms of non-dimensional quantity, and that is known as friction factor, and we have shown that friction factor is twice the skin friction coefficient. Later we considered Poiseuille flow inside inclined parallel plates, and in this case your gravity in the x direction is rho g sin theta. Okay. So, in this case your pressure gradient will be minus del p by del x plus gravitational force rho g cos theta will be added, and velocity distribution is again parabolic in this particular case, and it will be the similar profile which you get in the plane Poiseuille flow. Only the pressure will differ, because minus del p by del x is replaced with minus del p by del x plus rho g sin theta. Okay. So, but your velocity distribution will be similar as horizontal case, okay, where theta is equal to 0. And then we have expressed the mean velocity and the shear stress distribution, and also we have calculated the pressure distribution inside the flow domain. Thank you.